Hello my fellow Luminites, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ivy, also known as Intuitive Ivy here on YouTube, or if you are new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Ivy. This channel is all about magical, mystical, supernatural things, and today we're going to be talking all about real Ouija board stories. So many of you guys already know that I myself have experiences with the Ouija board. I have a video up on it that I will post up here somewhere with my experience with the Ouija board, but I looked online and there's a lot of people that have really crazy experiences, far more crazy than I ever did. So I want to go ahead and get into those and, you know, just tell some horrifying real Ouija board story. This story is about a woman named Paige, and it was written in the Reader's Digest. The first time I used a Ouija board, I was about 6 or 7 and I was with my mom and older sister, who was 15 about that time. My family had just moved to a new house, much bigger and much older than the one that we lived in previously. That night, me, my mother, and my sister were eating pizza on the living room floor since we didn't have all our furniture up yet. We put a fire on to ease the chill of the fall air. After dinner, my sister pushed my mom to let us play with her old Ouija board. As we were using it, a box in the living room that had blocks in it literally flew across the room. Shortly after that, a fire inexplicably went out and our mother was so shaken that she took us to her grandmother's house to spend the night. That's crazy. That is something that, like, if it happened to me, I would have probably done the same thing. Like, oh, we're not staying here, we're leaving. That is insane. So I wonder what happened after that night. Did they go back? Did they sell the house? But because I know you sign a lease sometimes, so that's crazy to have just bought in a new house. And then you bust out the Ouija board like, hey, let's find out what's in here. Like, you're basically causing a commotion. You're opening up that doorway. That's crazy. So let's go ahead and move on to the next story. So the next one is by an anonymous person that was written in a blog called Castle of Chaos. And the story goes like this. So in a high school, a couple of friends, my friend's mom and myself, were talking about a local building being haunted. It was a soil conditioners that sell dirt, bark, and other landscaping goods, rumored to be the location of a murder years before. The mom worked there, so they say we decided to break out the board and give it a shot. I never used one before, so I was skeptical from making the jump. The place essentially was a large warehouse with tall metal racks, like think Costco or Home Depot, stacked with bags of dirt, manure, bark, and other things like large ceramic flower pots. The board was a glow-in-the-dark, so we kept all the lights off. Once we got going, it started moving around and I was freaking out already. We asked if something was there to let us know, and there was a loud bang that seemed to come from one of the rafters on the other side of the warehouse. Every question that followed was met with a similar bang from a various location in the warehouse, sometimes close, sometimes far, and then the last question asked was if it was meant to harm us, and the planchette that was already on the no answer did not move. The question was repeated and immediately followed by the closest noise yet, seemed right on top of us, so we decided to get out. After we were rushing, we flipped on our flashlights and we saw 1 or 2 large pots fall from the racks and heard what we would later find out to be 40-pound bags of bark dropping to the ground. There was also a slow, low grinding noise that when my friends returned the next day was a sledgehammer that had been dragged through the dirt, covered cement floor standing straight up in the air with drag marks, but no footprints around. I pretty much believe in ghosts now, and I slept with the lights on for a whole week. That is insane. So the thing about using the Ouija board, especially in a place where it's already known to be haunted, I'm not saying like don't completely use it. Like if you want to use it, you always have the option to, but at least take extra precautions so that you know that you're not opening up a portal to something darker that you really don't want to be talking to. So I should post a video on that later, but this is really freaky. They had themselves like a poltergeist or something here because that thing was active. So here's another one that was written by another anonymous user. So I was about 12 or 13 spending the night at a friend's house, goofing around with a Ouija board with him and his sister, and we were getting all sorts of gibberish plus words being spelled out. Just kind of scaring ourselves for fun, not taking it very seriously when we got the message, "I can see you through the window." And then, "I can see you through his eyes," or something like that. There was just a small window in the basement room where we were, and just the backyard and the woods past the driveway visible through that window. We asked him more questions and it said, "I'm under the car." So we somehow got up the nerve to go out with a flashlight and peer under the car when we saw a huge black stray cat which was hissing. We ran inside freaking out, and at that exact moment the power failed and all the lights in the house went out. We just about pooped ourselves. A few minutes later the power came back on and we sat up till dawn the next night scared, and we never played that board again. So I have to say, I've been noticing a lot of stories, even stories that I've heard from people that I know in like real life and stuff, that say that, you know, they saw a ghost or something, and then when they go out to look wherever they sent whatever the entity to, there's like a cat there, and sometimes that cat's adopted and it's like the nicest cat. So it's really strange how that works out. I always like how like a cat's at the end of it. So this last story again is told by an anonymous person on this blog called Castle of Chaos, and this is what they said. My girlfriend told me this story about an experience that she had with a Ouija board while in high school sometime in 1986. She had a friend named Johnny who was suffering from CF or some other debilitating disease, who had recently been hospitalized as a result. Both she and her friend Shelley visited Johnny regularly in the hopes of keeping his spirits up and for a quick recovery. One night after visiting Johnny, they were at Shelley's when they decided to try out a Ouija board. After a while, they started communicating with a spirit who seemed to know a lot about them, that it really a lot more than, you know, they shouldn't have, basically. After some like regular questions about boys and general questions one would expect the teenage girls to ask, my girlfriend decided to ask about Johnny and his condition. The board quickly spelled out 24 June 1987. Johnny won't have to worry anymore. And went, goodbye. My girlfriend and Shelley were so convinced that the board was giving them a date for recovery that they actually wrote the message down and sealed it in an envelope. The following year, on the 24th of June, it turned out that Johnny indeed no longer needed to worry about his condition. It was the day that he died. Oh my gosh. That one is like the most chilling story of them all. That's scary. That is terrifying. Oh my gosh. I can't, that one has like no explanation at all. That's it. So do you guys know any interesting Ouija board stories? If you do, feel free to write them down in the comments below, because I would love to do like a part 2, and it'd be so awesome if I had like some of your like posts and comments that I could like put on there as like stories and stuff. So if you haven't yet, feel free to hit that subscribe button, and again turn on that notification bell. I'm sorry that I'm giving you that spiel, but YouTube has a very like bad thing of like notifying you when I post new videos, so that's why I say turn on that notification bell as well. And of course subscribe if you haven't yet, because you're gonna join our beautiful growing coven family. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I do provide tarot readings for as little as $3 and up if you are interested, and if you are interested, I will put that link down below. Anyways, you guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will be back in the next video. Love you guys.